This is Luke with Hamilton RV. I'll be doing a demo of the 331 DH Sunset Trail. Starting right here, slide room, you got a rubber bulb seal and a sweep seal. I do recommend a spray and conditioner for that. It'll clean condition and put a UV protection on them seals to protect them from drying out and cracking into the sun. This is all cable system, so there's not really a whole lot of maintenance on that. Wheel bearings on this unit should be repacked every 2 years or 10,000 miles, whichever comes first. This outside kitchen, this refrigerator will only work if your camper's plugged in. It's a 110 power. It's a regular house, 110 power. So when you plug in it, that's what allows this fridge to turn on and get cold. There's your grill, and your gas line for this grill is attached to the back of this already. This here's the switch for your stabilizing jacks. And you'll see that one's not moving yet because the other side, it's what happens is the other side's gonna come down touching and this side will take off and come up. So if we look, you can see that side's already down a ways. But anyhow, these are only meant for stability. They're not meant to level off of. When you level this, you'll use your wheels for your side-to-side leveling by laying blocking down and backing onto it. Once you're level side to side, you'll disconnect the tow vehicle. You'll use your tongue jack on the front to get your front to back level. And at the end, once you're level side to side and front to back, then you'll put these stabilizing jacks down just to stabilize the camper from rocking and shaking. You should have a quick connect for gas right here. That's what that's for. Your griddle or your grill here will plug into that, and you'll run off the tanks on the front. You have a spray port back here. This is like a garden hose attachment that goes on it. Basically, you got a curly blue hose that's got a garden hose sprayer on it. It just gives you, cold water. This is going to be your key TV stuff. It's like your main feed for cable, satellite. It's all right there. You should get on your roof 3 times a season to inspect anything that comes to the roof. You got what's called dicor around all the plumbing, vents, anything that comes through the camper. Over time, that sealant that's up there gets hard from the sun baking it, and as this travels down the road, it's rocking and flexing. Eventually, it's going to dry out and crack. When that happens, you're going to clean it with an all-purpose cleaner, let it dry good, and then reapply that dicor product right back over top of the old stuff. It'll self-level and fill them holes and voids in. You should also, this also has a setup for a Furrion backup camera. It's pre-wired for that, so the Furrion backup cameras are actually a pretty nice camera. They're an observation camera, so as you travel down the road, you can see what's going on behind you. Also has audio on it, so while you're backing into your campsite, somebody can talk to you and guide you into your campsite through that camera, which is kind of nice. This unit, this is a 30 amp unit. Your power cord's back here in the back. I always recommend extra power cord and an extra 25-foot extension with this. And I would also recommend an RV surge protector. That'll protect your camper from any kind of power surge. And there's different models of that. So, I mean, if that's something you guys are interested in, just let me know and I can kind of explain what the difference is between them. I always recommend slide covers as well. The slide out on the other side, I would not put a slide cover on, but the two on this side, I would definitely recommend a slide cover on. It's going to keep all the debris, the leaves, sticks, nuts, that kind of stuff off the roof of that slide out, so you don't have to get up there every time and sweep it off. Also, if it rains, you got to remember whatever water falls on that roof, it's a flat roof, so it's going to be wet when you bring it in, and all that water comes inside. So it's definitely just something I like to let you know. You can manually crank your stabilizing jacks right there at the end. There's that round rod right there and a roll pin in it that allows you to manually bring them up and down if you ever have an issue. You got apparently 2 gray tanks and a black tank over here. So that one on the far right's gray, that one in the middle is black, and this one here on this other end is a gray. So you're always going to dump your black tank first, so the middle valve will get pulled first. Once you're at the dump station, you're going to hook your sewer hose up, put your clear adapter on your sewer hose, and I'll explain here in a second why. You're going to pull that valve and let it empty. Once that empties, let me come all the way up to the front. you're going to take the hose at the dump station. This obviously has two, this has got two dumps. We'll go over the other one too. These here are tank flush valves, both of these, with the caution tags on them. This will over focus. And basically what that is, inside your black tanks, you got a sprayer attached to the tank. So when you hook the water from the dump station, you normally use to rinse your sewer hoses and stuff out. You'll hook them to them ports and turn it on, and basically that's got a sprayer that just sprays and rinses the waste out of the tank, and you're going to let that run until you got clean water coming through your tank. Once you got clean water coming through, that's why you want that clear fitting on your sewer hose. You'll shut the water off, obviously pull the gray valves at the end to kind of rinse your sewer hose out, you know, and you're good. Same thing on the front. This here is your furnace vent that does get hot. And again, I'll show you here. You got both valves there. Gray valve's the one on the right, that long one that goes up in here with nothing. On the left is going to be your black tank. So, water heater. Pressure relief valve. This will relieve the pressure from the system. Once there's nothing coming out of that, then it's safe to pull this drain cap off. This is the cap. 1 1/16 socket fits that. Goes on down there. Really the only thing you're doing out here is draining the water heater and putting the cap on it. Everything else is done on the inside as far as turning it on and off. I don't recommend leaving water sit in the tank for too long if it's there for more than a week generally, and you're not cycling it, it'll get stinky. You'll get stagnant stale water. So I always recommend if you're done camping, just drain it. It's the best thing you can do with it. Quick drain. It's gonna be right here. That's your quick drain. So that's for this tank, your potable tank. That'll drain the water off that tank. So if you're gonna rust a camp, you'll fill this tank and run off the on-demand pump inside. City water connection here is going to be if they offer water on site, you'll hook into this water port, put a water pressure regulator on there. It regulates that water pressure coming in your camper so you don't exceed the 50 pounds of pressure it's rated for. You know, so if they have water on a campsite, if they don't. Inside this panel right here that you see behind this is where you're going to access your water pump. This unit has a battery disconnect switch, and basically that'll disconnect the battery from the camper so that your camper don't kill the battery while it sits. Anytime you sit for any length of time, that battery will die. You get about 3-4 days and that'll happen. Two 20-pound propane cylinders, a regulator here. This will switch from tank to tank. So basically all that means, this will auto switch as well. So it's pointing at this tank now over here. Once this tank empties, if this tank is open, it'll automatically start pulling gas from this tank, but this won't move, so you don't know where you are on propane. I always recommend you close one cylinder, run one at a time. Just saves a lot of headaches in the end. On your tongue jack, this rubber cap will come off. It allows you to manually crank this up and down if you have an issue. Right? Up, down. This is the power cord that comes with the unit. This is that manual crank I was telling you for your stabilizing jacks. And this little one's going to be for the tongue jack. That blue curly hose we were just talking about. The front stabilizing jack switch. That one's the same as the back. You got coax set up here and power for a TV back here if you wanted one. Outside radio speakers up there. And then we're going to head to the inside. Starting in here, you got your fuse box. Breakers and fuses are in there. That next to it, your carbon monoxide LP detector. That is one of the biggest draws of the battery. Well, that and this refrigerator you guys have in here. We're going to kind of go over here in a second. So, monitor panel. Push this button here, the battery button. It shows the condition of your battery or where you're at. Anytime you plug in, your power converter is putting a trickle charge to the battery. Just remember that it charges up when you plug it in. And then tanks are going to be registered empty to full. Lights here, awning lights. This is water pump, the gas side to your water heater, the electric side to your water heater, and then you guys got a tank heater. So the tank heater is basically a 12-volt pad on the bottom that just keeps the tanks from freezing up when it's starting to get cold out if you're still camping. Light switches, and then you got your awning in and out, and then your 3 slide switches. So because this is a 30 amp unit, you guys have this switch here. You can either run your fireplace or you can run your air conditioner. There's no running both. Most of the time you're not going to run one, or you're going to run one or the other anyhow. Thermostat on off switch shows off. Hit the mode button again. That's your fan on your air conditioner, high and low, cool high, low, and then auto low, auto high, and then back to heat, and then off. And then to adjust your temperature, that's what these 2 buttons do. They go up and down. We're going to work our way around. Stovetop. You have, this is the sparker for the burners and the oven. So the 3 in the middle are your burners. This is your oven switch. To light your oven, you're going to put it to the little flame. You're going to push the knob in and hold it. While that's held, you're going to spark it. Okay? Once it lights down there, you're going to continue to hold that for, I don't know, 5-10 seconds. You got to let that thermocouple get a little bit warm. When you let off, it should stay lit. Then you can adjust it to whatever temp you were shooting for. Lights. Refrigerator. This is a Norcold 12-volt refrigerator. So you see the little light lit up here. To shut this off, you're going to push and hold. It takes about 5 seconds to shut down. Okay. I'm going to turn it back on to show you. Push, hold, 5 seconds to turn back on. Beep, it comes on. Temperature down and up. This will be for your freezer. This is your fridge to adjust your fridge temp up to 5. And then this here would be for when you get, it's night mode. So what it does is it just slows the compressor down from running so much so that it doesn't kill your battery as quickly. But again, this is 12 volt. So if you're going to do a lot of rustic camping, you might want to consider getting a couple 6-volt batteries and some solar panels. You do got a roof vent in here. I don't know how many we'll go through here in a second, and I'll let you know. I recommend the max air covers on all them vents. Roof vents are a wonderful thing to be able to leave open. The more vent covers you put on them, the more you can leave open, which means the more airflow through your camper, which is always better. Think of this like a house. Your house has roof vents in the attic of your house to vent the heat and moisture out of your attic. This does the same thing for your RV, so it's definitely an important step. The more, like I said, the more of them you leave open, the better. We're going to take a peek and see how many here you got. I want to say this one has 4 vents. You got one in the bathroom in here, and these all have switches too for the fans right there. We'll be back in there. Hold on. So you got 1, 2, and I think there's 2 more up front here. 3, 4. So this has 4 vents. I would definitely recommend the Max Air, at least the Max Air 1 on them. 4 vents, boy, you got plenty of airflow. Then it'll trust me, it keeps your camper cooler. It keeps the air isn't stagnant, doesn't get that stale smell to it. You know, none of that. So definitely something I'd really recommend. So this here is going to be that Wi-Fi extender on off, which I'm not sure that these actually have I think it's all pre-set up for it, but I don't think it's got the little card. I think you pay for that separate. That's something we'll have to talk to your salesman about. And then power button for the radio. Speakers A and B is inside and out. It'll Bluetooth. You'll have surround sound from the TV. Fireplace down here, you got buttons, and again I got it set on AC right now, so that'll be on off. And then you got flame, temperature, timer, all that stuff. The color, it'll adjust the color of the flame and stuff. So bathroom, foot pedal on the floor, push down a little bit, it puts water in a bowl. You push it all the way, it'll dump out. Coming in at the bunk room. Lots of storage. Set up for a TV here. shut this as I go. Now we'll head back up towards the front. Bathroom. Okay. So this panel comes off behind the toilet. That's where you access the backside of your water heater, I'm pretty sure I read. Foot pedal again, push it down a little bit, water in a bowl, push it all the way, it'll dump out. And then the master. Nice big bed, roomy. The bed lifts up, you have storage underneath that. And again, look at placement of the vents in here, directly over the bed. So if you forget to shut the vent cover, I mean, it really is beneficial to add them. So, with all that done and said, so, everybody gets this 10% off parts card. Just present this to them at parts, they'll give you 10% off whatever you purchase. This is for purchasing your camper with us. Thank you very much. This here has our phone number on it. If you're interested in any of the extra add-ons or you have any questions about anything, please give me a call at 989-752-6262. Again, my name's Luke here at Hamilton RV. This sheet here, like, again, this is for you guys. Tire torque, tire pressure, I mean, how many valves, where everything's located, what drains into what on your monitor panel. I mean, that's all for you guys. This here just gives you a diagram of how your water heater valve should look for summer setup, for winterization or the winter mode. By doing that, 2 gallons of antifreeze is generally enough for winterization. This one might take a little bit more because you do have dual bathrooms, but you can probably get it with 2 gallons, yeah. This last paper here is going to be, it's our virtual demo page. Now, remind you that prices are subject to change, so they're fluctuating a lot right now due to the whole COVID incident. So everything's up and down. So again, just give me a call if you're interested in something, and I'll give you the actual quote of what everything costs. Slide toppers are sold in 6-inch increments, so that's why the price is so vague there. Every one is a little bit different. Vent covers, again, Smoke Max Air 1s is what I would recommend for the roof of this, so you're about $100 a piece. Surge protection, this is a hardwire surge protector. This is one model. There's others, though. This is just a hardwire setup. And again, you know, that's protecting this whole camper from any kind of a power surge. And when you do the hardwire, you don't have to worry about them sitting outside where somebody could walk off with it. But I would definitely recommend that with monitor, because the monitor is what's going to tell you what's happening with everything. Lend a hands, tongue jacks, all that good stuff. And then we offer a paint and fabric protection. So basically what that is, inside any vinyl, leather, fabric, or carpet gets a treatment on it. Gives you a 5-year warranty from any kind of rips, tears, stains, or burns. Okay, so with kids or pets camping with you, I mean, it makes a big difference. If something, you know, your couch gets ripped, that's probably a $1,600 couch. They replace it for you. So, I mean, it's kind of a cool setup. And on the outside, any paint fade, any kind of sun damage basically to the outside, it gets a ceramic coating on it, makes washing easier, keeps the bugs from sticking when you drive down the road. I mean, it just, overall, it's been, and your awning gets treatment as well. 5-year warranty out there from any of that as well. So it's definitely something I'd like to recommend. Campers treated now, 5 years later, you compare it to one that wasn't, they're noticeably different. Your camper looks cleaner, newer, I mean, the whole 9 yards. You'll definitely know the difference. The last thing we talk about is our extended service contract. The extended service is something I'm going to highly recommend because that covers all your major mechanical parts, so furnace, fridge, air conditioning, water heater, water pump, LP system, water lines, fittings, tanks, slide motors, mechanisms. The TV would be covered. It covers parts in the suspension, parts in the hubs. I mean, there is a lot of stuff covered under that, and being you have all the extra slide motors and cables and all that good stuff, and the motors that run them in and out, and the stabilizing jacks that are electric. I mean, all that stuff's covered under that warranty, so it's definitely well worth the money. So basically, here's how it works. They call it a 7-year warranty. Your first year, because this has a 1-year manufacturer warranty with it, once that first year warranty was up, then the extended kicks in, and you technically have 6 additional years of coverage after the manufacturer warranty. They call it a 7-year plan, but it ends in 7 years from the day you purchase it. So your first year is done through the manufacturer, then after that your extended kicks in. once the extended kicks in, it covers all that stuff that I just explained. The cool thing about it, there's two things I like about it. One is prorated, so if you don't want it, you can cash it out at any time and get your remainder of time. It's all prorated, so you get that much money back. So if you use 2 years worth of warranty, you get 5 years worth of money back. You know what I mean? The other cool thing I like about it is it covers a mobile service. That'll kick in after the manufacturer warranty's up. If you're going to travel the nation or Canada, I mean, it's covered in all of the United States and Canada. You don't have to come here. You got to be more than 50 miles from us for that to work. You pay your deductible, things get fixed. I mean, from the fridge, the slides, whatever the case may be. It's definitely a good thing if you plan on traveling. Something I'd really recommend. And not to mention, for 7 years, man, these things take a beating going down. It's a house traveling down the road, so just think about that. You know, you got everything shaking. Can you imagine your house traveling down the road? I mean, it gets beat up going down the road, I'm sure, bouncing and getting beaten around on our hard roads here. So it's definitely something I'd really recommend. Generally rolled in your if you roll peat and fabric protection into your finance, it's normally anywhere from $15 to $20 a month. If you do the extended service contract, it's normally $30 to $35 a month. And again, that depends on your financing, short term, long term. I mean, that all plays a role, obviously, in how much you're going to pay. But it's definitely something that can be done. So if that's something you guys are interested in, again, give me a call back. I'll make sure we can make stuff happen. Our phone number here again is 989-752-6262, and I'm Luke. So, I mean, any questions at all, please give me a call back at that number. Congratulations on your purchase, guys, and have a wonderful day.